Have you ever said something that felt completely harmless, only to realize it exposed a secret you were never supposed to uncover? That's exactly what happened to me. A single question, spoken without much thought, ended up tearing apart my relationship in a matter of seconds. I never imagined that one slip of the tongue could destroy 3 years of love, but that night, I watched the man I adored walk out the door without a word. The worst part, I didn't even understand why. At least, not right away. Ethan and I had been together for 3 years. He was gentle, charismatic, and carried this calm energy that made me feel safe. Friday nights were sacred for us. We always stayed in, no phones or outside distractions, just the two of us sharing dinner that I had cooked. But something about this Friday felt off. He came home later than usual, and I noticed a faint fragrance clinging to him. A floral perfume that definitely wasn't mine. I picked up on it instantly, though I said nothing. My friends often teased me about overanalyzing things, and I was trying hard to be the cool girlfriend who didn't make a big deal out of small things. We sat down to eat, and I tried to keep things cheerful, talking about how my boss had finally acknowledged a project I'd worked tirelessly on. Ethan smiled, but the expression didn't quite reach his eyes. His attention kept drifting toward his phone on the counter, the screen lighting up every time it buzzed. And then it happened. I can't even recall what exactly pushed me over the edge. Maybe the constant buzzing, maybe the lingering perfume. Without thinking, I blurted out, "So, how's Claire?" The fork froze halfway to his mouth. His knuckles whitened as he gripped it. I need to explain. I had pulled that name out of nowhere. It was something I'd seen online, a test where you say a random name to see if your partner reacts suspiciously. It was supposed to be a silly joke. But the look that crossed Ethan's face was anything but funny. He slowly set his fork down, stared at me as though I had just read his mind, and then pushed his chair back. Without saying a word, he stood up and left the room. No shouting, no excuses, nothing, just silence. At first, I laughed nervously, convinced he was only pretending. Okay, you got me, I thought. But minutes passed, and he didn't come back. I called his name, but there was no response. Then I heard the sound of keys and the click of the front door. My heart sank. What had I just done? I dialed his number, no answer. I texted him, no reply. My thoughts spiraled out of control. Who was Claire? Why had his reaction been so intense? About an hour later, I heard the front door again. Relieved, I rushed to the hallway, but he wasn't alone. Ethan was carrying a duffel bag, packed and ready to go. "Ethan, what's happening?" I asked, my voice shaking. He didn't meet my eyes. Instead, in a low voice, he asked, "Who told you?" Confused, I stammered, "Told me what? I was just kidding. Who even is Claire?" The silence that followed hit harder than any words could. Finally, he whispered, "She's someone I should have told you about a long time ago. I didn't think you knew her name." My stomach dropped. "Ethan, what are you talking about?" When he finally looked at me, his expression was heavy with guilt and fear. "I've been seeing someone," he confessed. "Her name is Claire." The room spun around me. I let out a short, bitter laugh, half expecting him to say he was joking. "This isn't funny, Ethan. Tell me you're joking." He shook his head. And just like that, everything I thought I knew about our relationship collapsed. Tears blurred my vision, but my voice rose anyway. "How long? How long have you been lying to me?" He hesitated, then muttered, 8 months. 8 months. It felt surreal, like I was watching someone else's tragedy play out on a screen. I couldn't believe this was my life. Why wasn't I enough? I sobbed, my whole body trembling. He stepped forward, as if to comfort me, but I recoiled. "Don't," I snapped through tears. "Don't you dare say it's not about me. You've been sneaking around with Claire while pretending to love me." He sighed, his shoulders sagging. "I never wanted to hurt you." I almost laughed again, but the sound came out broken. "You didn't want to hurt me? You've completely destroyed me, Ethan." He didn't argue. He just grabbed his bag and headed for the door. "Where are you going?" I demanded. "To Claire's," he said simply. Then he left. The click of the door echoed through the empty house, leaving me in silence so thick it felt suffocating. I sat on the kitchen floor for hours, staring at the untouched food on the table, replaying every second of his reaction in my mind, the way he froze at her name, the way he didn't even fight for us. The next morning, I found his house key left on the counter.
No note.
No explanation.
Just absence.
I wanted to hate him.
I wanted to burn every photo and shred every memory. But instead, I cried. I questioned myself endlessly.
Had I missed the signs? Could I have prevented this if I hadn't made that stupid joke? But deep down, I knew the truth. He had already checked out of our relationship long before that night.
My words didn't end us.
They only pulled the mask off something that was
already broken. Sometimes the truth slips out when we least expect it.
In my case, one random name uncovered months of lies. So, I wonder, was it pure fate that I chose Claire, or was it just coincidence that shattered everything?